All right. Hello, everybody. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, mic check. Can you hear me? Am I coming in loud and clear for everybody? Fender, what's the word, bird? The bird. The bird is the word. Yes, you can hear me. Hey, hello, Jammy Egg. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, awesome. Hi, everybody. How are we doing today? You having a great day? Having a fantastic Thursday? Can't believe it's already Thursday. Like, where did the week go? You know? It's crazy. It's almost the weekend. Let's get some camera action going here. Hi. Here I am. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to another Ark Aquatica developer stream. Look who decided to show up. Yep, I am here. I'm here. I'm showing up. But again, welcome to another Aquatica developer stream today. Much similar to yesterday's stream, we're going to be doing a short Q&A and update session. Don't have a lot of updates to talk about at this time. What I can say is that for those who are curious about the next patch, we're still in the process of getting things sorted out for the update and getting patch notes and things ready for that. So once we have everything solidified there, we will push out an ETA for this update as well as what's coming with it. So if we get any updates on that, or if I get any details on that, I'll be pushing it out to everybody here. So that's where we're at with that at the moment. The daily streams are awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying them. I'm glad. This was the only correct answer. Well done. Thank you. Greetings. Hello. Greetings. When's the next patch? So we just talked about that. At the moment, we do not have an ETA on that. The next patch will be coming soon, though. At the moment, the team is gathering everything that we need as far as the patch notes and what's going to be getting pushed out. Once we have everything solidified and put together, we'll be releasing that ETA as well as what's coming with the next patch to everybody. So as soon as I get those additional details from the team, I'll be pushing those out to the Discord as well as socials. So keep on the lookout for that. Today, we are going to be doing another biome exploration, as well as a few tutorials. I noticed in the chat yesterday, a lot of people are asking for guides, how-tos, tutorials on certain things. And I've noticed that there's some new players who might be struggling to craft a couple resources that you'll need throughout your journey in Aquatica, especially if you're doing anything regarding to fabricators, making skiffs, stingers, etc. So today I figured after we go explore the caves and the caverns, the crystal caverns, I thought it would be fun to show you guys how to make a few things. One of which being hardened steel, showing you how to craft those, what resources you'll need, some great spots to find specific resources for hardened steel. We're also going to look into how to make an aquilarium, essentially your underwater gasoline source, to help drive and fuel your hydrospheres whenever you're building your underwater bases and your little air pockets. And then lastly, this was a big subject point for the stream yesterday, is eels and jellyfish and getting shocked and stunned. And so I think today I finally show you guys how we make the sea dragon soup. Does that sound like a good idea to y'all? We'll do a couple minutes here, though. As always, I'd like to do a little Q&A session. So if anybody has any new questions or anything they want to bring up, floor is open by all means. I have my pen and notepad ready to go to jot things down. So if anybody has any questions at this time, also it is getting pretty dark in here. Let's see if we can get some more natural light in here. How does that look? Does this look better? Oh, perfect. Send the stuff on Discord? Awesome. Perfect. Sounds like a plan. Let's get it. Yes, sir. All right. I'll do a couple more minutes here just to check the chat. You know, we don't have a lot of folks in here today, so I think it's good if we're good to disable disable slow. Let's take off slow mode for everybody. What headset do I have? So I have the Astro A50s. That's the headset I'm rocking. Question regarding the Abyssal Reaper offspring. What's your question? I think all the known issues are in fact now known. We made it. Hey, seems like the majority of the questions have been answered. And again, a lot of the issues that are currently being addressed, again, like I've stated in the previous streams, the team is, in a sense, moving back and forth between critical issues and priorities as we go about fixing things. So. Why do the Abyssal Reaper offspring follow you around if you can't tame them? That is a phenomenal question. Let me bring that up to my dino crew. They would be the ones that have that answer for you. I think we talked about the Abyssal Reapers yesterday. What did they say? Howdy, howdy. Hey. First time it happened, I thought I was a goner. Yeah, the Abyssal Reapers are scary. When are tech turrets and new rocket launchers getting added? So at the moment right now, we are not focused on adding additional features or things like tech engrams until the critical bugs and the game-breaking bugs are fixed. We are addressing them. We are addressing the issues, and we have solutions in place. It is not a one-click process for fixing some of these bugs. So I understand there is a little frustration there as far as the wait time on things like that, but please just be patient with the team. And we're not, in the sense, ignoring that. We just, at the moment, we're not addressing that until we get more of the priority bugs and issues fixed. Today is Crystal Caverns, yes. Oh, Jamie, I got to get you. Totally forgot. There we go. I did see feedback on commands and things like that. And matter of fact, you can now, because I think what was happening was a Stream Elements bot. All my stuff resets on my browser. So the bot itself, for whatever reason, it would log me out. So I wasn't able to use my commands. But now you can use commands. So I have exclamation Discord and exclamation YouTube. Discord takes you to the Ark Aquatica Discord. If you guys are not a part of that yet, highly recommend you guys join. And then YouTube, for any of the previous stream VODs that you have not seen yet, you can go back and watch those. They're the raw, uncut footage available to the public to review. Anything regarding new maps or official server releases elsewhere is not up to Studio Sirens. We have no say or information regarding that. Do you know if the floating platforms block dino spawns? I do not know. I'm not familiar with it. If you have encountered any issues where floating platforms do block dino spawns or anything like that, please report it. Hey, Charlie. I'm doing great. How are you? Adixop, are tech suit engrams coming to the map? Jamie, could you answer that? As well as any additional information or any additional questions regarding the tech engrams or tech suits, things like that. Can you answer that, please and thank you? We don't have any information regarding the next steps or essentially the future of the Aquatica DLC at the moment. All we know is that it is available on Steam. A tech command? That's pretty good. I actually like that one. I'm going to hang on. I'm jotting that down for tomorrow's stream. Oh my God, that's a great idea for questions. Do exclamations or commands for those. Yeah, no, we'll definitely see what the future holds going forward for Studio Sirens and what comes next. I think it's going to be fun. All right, we'll do a couple more questions, and then we'll get on to the Crystal Caverns exploration, because we have a lot of fun stuff to go dive into there. Do you happen to know the spawn commands for bosses? I want to get clarification with my team first if we do have a list of the console commands that we can push out. Let me get clarification and information on that. Do foundations block jelly spawns? I'm not aware if the foundations block any of the dino spawns. I never put the electric. Hey, what's up? After yesterday's stream, I experimented with barnacles, found the electric one, unable to put it on any of my tames, though. I believe that was something that was addressed yesterday in stream, and one of our devs that was in here was also talking about that. I believe that has been pushed up and addressed with the team. So I don't have an ETA on a fix for that, but that is something that we are aware of. So. Any ETA on Hydrosphere fix where you just float lag walk? I don't have an answer to that question, but I can find out for you. I will jot that down. We also have devs that are currently in the chat, and so what we're doing is we're taking screenshots of your guys' comments and questions on here and then bringing them into our QA panel to then go over those in discussion after streams. So even if I may not have an answer, I may not get to your question here where I verbally speak something, one of our other devs may catch your question and then post that in our logs. So things are being watched. All right. Let's go take a look at the Crystal Caverns. I think it's about time. Ooh. All right, so right now what I'm in more of the, where am I actually? Yes, so I'm in the more of the northeast corner of the map near the sulfur pits. This one area is a bit more of a barren location. This is also where we're going to find the green obelisk for the Samathua boss fight, and additional resources as well. If you're looking for a good metal vein or some sort of metal resource here, then this spot is going to be a prime area for you to go and explore. Base-wise, not necessarily the best for creating a base location or for a permanent home, so, but I'll leave that up to you if you want to go play. All right, let's get out of the bubble here. Now, there were some questions regarding the FPS and stability as well as map optimization. We did push out an FPS update on the 22nd. However, you will expect to see additional FPS and optimization updates going through future patches. So it's going to be, instead of one just giant patch, it's going to be in a series of those updates. You can never have enough clams. What is everyone's obsession with clams? Would really love to know. Fender, are you getting everybody on clams? Now, right now, we're kind of at a split. So if I take a left here in this position, I can go to the Boiling Sea biome where we explored yesterday. But if I take a right, we're actually going to go near one of the entry points for the Crystal Caverns. And at first glance, when you're coming through the Crystal Caverns, you're going to see, at first glance, it's just going to look like walls upon walls of crystals everywhere. This is one of those biomes where you really need to pay attention to your surroundings, especially along the walls and the nooks and crannies, because you're going to find openings that are going to allow you to go and explore further into the caverns themselves. I understand clams are awesome, all right? Clams are cool. Ooh. My bit rate is going right now. Slowly making our way. All of the crystals that you see throughout the caves here, minus the larger ones that are lighting the caverns themselves, are going to be harvestable. So if you're looking for a place to have an unlimited resource for crystals, this is going to be your spot for you. Granted, there's a plethora of other pockets of crystals scattered all throughout Aquatica and its different biomes. So there's plenty of opportunities there, plenty of spaces for you to choose from when exploring. But if you're looking for an infinite resource, then the Caverns is the place you want to come to. The Caverns is also fairly accessible through other different avenues for players, especially when you're coming down from the starting islands themselves. If you spawn out near more of the normal islands, in the northern islands themselves, you're going to be able to spawn right on top of some of the Crystal Cavern pockets to dive into. I'm gonna get off my tame here. I'm gonna see if I can't find some great examples of some caves we can go explore. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I did put myself on high settings. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Let's change it down to medium real quick. Earlier today, I was playing on high, so I forgot to change the settings before coming in and starting the stream, so that's on me. Like I said, though, regarding the FPS situation, that is something that is currently being worked on still and will actively continue to be worked on. And so, as we are pushing out updates, expect to see some sort of note in the patch regarding FPS and optimization. So, it will be an increment of optimization pushes for this. There we go. There we go. Let's see if I can find one of my favorite caves. Seems to be there's an active push for more clams and less jellyfish. More jellyfish, less purple clams. Okay, what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer the clams or do you prefer the jellyfish? Fender's gonna say jellyfish. Jellyfish gang, rise up. I think we need some tribes. We need the jellyfish tribe versus the clam tribe. All right. So this is something I was talking about earlier when regarding the crystal caverns is as you're swimming through in the larger pockets, you want to pay attention to the surrounding walls for any sort of openings or different colored crystals, because sometimes the colors can actually lead you somewhere. They could be an acting line. So this is a great example here. We're actually going to go into one of the caves in the caverns to go take a little deep dive. We're actually about to go into a cave right now. Let's see, is it over here? Oh, okay. Just because I feel like being nice, if you guys come into this cave, instead of going straight through where the crystals continue, if you take a right behind this foliage, you're gonna find another explorer note. I've already collected this explorer note. I decided to do this for the save, so that way it doesn't show you guys what the note says. But yeah, this is, I can at least show you the location. There you go. You guys want to take a shot of that? More than welcome to. There you go. There's your little explorer note of the day. Things are loading in. This cave was also done by one of our very own Kel Fazad, so if he's in the chat, Kel, go ahead and say hi. As we come out, you can come into a very large open pocket here. This isn't one of your standard caves either. Somewhere in this cave is a artifact. I'm not going to show you where the artifact is, but I'm just going to show you the initial location of the cave, and I figured I'd allow you guys to explore. You know, there's tons of different nooks, crannies, paths for players to take as you continue your exploration through the crystal caverns and these artifact caves. Can you make a base literally anywhere? You can, minus the artifact caves themselves. Right. I think I'll stop here in regards to the cave. I'll just leave the rest of you to find that out for yourself. This is one of the more larger caves within the Crystal Caverns. Additionally, outside of it, you're going to find a ton of little cave pockets and smaller little, you can almost call them rat holes, if you will. The way that some of these caves were actually created were from happy little accidents as we were doing the level design for this. Because when you're essentially taking a rock mesh, right, and you're bashing together these rock meshes to create the cave look, right, to get that aesthetic, you almost create these unintentional cutouts into the geometry when you're developing the cave, and it creates some really fun areas for players to explore and use as bases. Which I've already seen on YouTube, quite a few players have already built some pretty crazy bases in some wild locations. Yeah. Add SpongeBob when? Okay. Add SpongeBob when? That's a great question. Phenomenal question. We gotta have a pineapple under the sea. If I told you that there was potentially a pineapple under the sea, somewhere in the shallows, would you believe me? Potentially. You believe me? Okay. What if I told you that in the stream from Tuesday, you can actually go back and see the pineapple under the sea? Is the Shadow Cave? This is one of our artifact caves you can find in the Crystal Caverns. I'll go ahead too, and I'll let you guys, just because I'm feeling nice. There's your GPS cords. There's what it looks like. Have fun exploring. All right. Let's go take a look at some other things around the Crystal Caverns. This is what I was talking about earlier for players when you're starting your game up on the starting islands and you want to find a quick access route into the caverns themselves rather than the other biomes. These little pockets here can actually act as a quick guide to help you dive down and collect crystal and other resources as well. So we're actually coming up to more of the shallow starting points. And these spots are great for players too who are lower level, allowing you to get familiar with the underwater resources, things that are harvestable for you. You're able to breathe in these areas, so maybe your oxygen isn't leveled up high enough and you're concerned you're gonna run out. You have plenty of plant species Ws around the area for players to stand by. You can build a base by them if you want. You can even harvest them for your underwater crop plots. But just to kind of give you an idea, there's the Anniversary Island. And so right here, just right off the Anniversary Island, is an entry point to the Crystal Caverns. Sponsored by a ton of lag at the moment. Quite a bit, just a little bit. Where's Gary the snail? Oh man, it's a phenomenal question. Jammy, we need Gary in here. We need Gary the snail. We need to talk about that later. Is Mr. Krabs? There are crabs down here, yes. There are crabs. They're not the Mr. Crab, but they are crabs. Something else, too, that is accessible from the Crystal Caverns is actually a route that takes you into the tech sewers that will actually carve a path for you to go into the shallows, even. I'll show you guys that right now. So one of the spots here as we go is going to take us into the sewers. Also, a quick tip. If anybody here is struggling to find barnacles, look for any of the sunken tech structures. That's where you're going to find most of your barnacles. Any sunken tech structure is guaranteed to have some sort of cluster. Yeah, so the barnacles in the water, they're in the sunken tech structure. And so this is a point that's going to allow you access into the tech sewers that we have underwater. I didn't show you guys this last time because we were too focused and fixated on the poop plant. But I'll show you guys another fun little spot. There are mesh holes in the area here, so we do have somebody who is constantly on top of the mesh holes and is addressing the mesh holes that come across in our bug reports. If you continue to find any mesh holes in this area or throughout Aquatica, continue to submit them up in the bug reports in the Discord. Exclamation Discord in the chat to join it if you're not. And we have somebody actively going through and reviewing those and patching those up as fast as possible. Here we have another fun little spot with another Explore Note. So right now we have no knowledge or insight on the future of Aquatica regarding console release or coming to ASA or anything like that. Let's speed up here and let's get back to the base. I'll show you guys how to make hardened steel and Equilarium. I think it's about that time. Oof. Yeah, my frames are dropping here. My goodness. Creative mode does not like me. Oof. Let's go find our green obelisk. And we're right over here somewhere. Are these creatures allowed to be modded onto other maps? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I would have to ask my team. Not sure what my team's doing here. I think they're just sleeping. That's fine. I fell. That's one thing you want to be careful of, and it's recommended that you build a little path that sticks out of your floating structure before you build your hydrosphere, because then that can happen where you fall off, like I just did. There we go. All right. What do we want to start with first? We want to do the hardened steel, we want to do the Aquilarium, or do we want to make some soup? Are we going to get a fix for ASE Windows? Same thing regarding Windows and the Windows fix. Our team, Studio Sirens, doesn't have any information regarding that. We are aware of that. That has been addressed multiple times by the community. I don't have any updates or information on whether or not we are going to address that ourselves. Soup? You guys want to see the soup? Worm? Like, what do you mean worm? All right, I guess we're making the soup first. All right, so first off, I need some wood. That's the wrong area. That's my cheat vault. Shh. All right, I need some wood. I also need a water skin. I'm gonna go outside. I gotta jump out again. Come on, jump out. There we go. All right. Got my water skin full. Let's go put you in there. Ooh, I got some fish jerky. Where is my... Worm gum, is that a real thing? Yes. All right, so a couple things you're going to need when you're making the sea dragon stew. First off, you're going to want a water skin. All right. Next, you're going to need a couple ingredients to make this. All right. You're going to need about... Hold on. I need my... Where's my list? I jotted this down, the exact number to make one soup, so you guys know. I have a bunch of lists everywhere. It's a fun time. All right. So what you're going to need first, you're going to need 10 mejoberries. 10. I'm going to take all of them with me. All right. All right. Then from there, you're going to need 2 fish jerky. Okay. You're going to need 3 dry seaweed. All right. You're going to need 2 biotoxin. You're going to need 5 of the sava root. 5. Okay. Once you got all those ingredients, and again, you can make the fish jerky, you can make the dry seaweed in the preserving bin. Wow, that was really hard. That was hard. Had a brain reset there for a second. Let's go find our crafting station. Oh, it's getting dark in here. Right. So you got all those. You're going to take your pouch, put your pouch in. We're going to put in all of our ingredients into the cooking pot, and now we're going to wait. And we're going to wait. And we're going to wait a little bit more. Can't rush a good soup. You can't rush a good soup at all. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Look at that. We're done. We've got sea dragon soup. Savor this light and delightful dish to bolster your natural resilience against electrocution, taking reduced damage upon consumption. You'll also get a chance to resist being stunned by sea creatures for 15 minutes. So there we go. Your sea dragon soup. All right, what do we want to do next? Do you want to do the hardened steel or do you want to do the aqualarium? Both are going to be a lot easier this time. I'm going to let these cook so I can make some more soup. Aqualarium? Okay. I do need more water for the soup. You're absolutely right. go and put out the fire real quick. Also, I'm going to set time of day because it's a little dark in here. There we go. Okay, so hardened steel. Hardened steel is going to be a resource that you're going to need for crafting more high-tier gear and engrams. So it's actually fairly easy. You're going to need a new resource to create hardened steel. So what you're going to need to create hardened steel, first off, you're going to need a forge. Let's get some wood for the forge. You're going to need iron ingots, okay? Or excuse me, metal ingots. Not metal itself as a resource, but metal ingots. Then you're going to need manganese. Manganese is a new resource. There's a great spot in the shallows that you can find it. You can actually find it throughout the shallows biome. It's going to look like almost like a metal ore, a metal rock, except it's going to be red, like a sparkly red, if you haven't found that yet. So this is what you're going to need to kind of help create your hardened steel. And then lastly, you're going to need charcoal. So we'll get one of those. Let's go find our forge. Let's put our wood. Let's put our charcoal. Let's put our metal. Let's put our manganese. Let's light the fire. And already we're making hardened steel. That's all you need to make it. Is it right that alpha carcinos don't spawn on the map? Jammy, could you answer that for me? Is there a spot on the map that you would recommend when dropping a fob? There's actually a really, really good spot in the Boiling Sea. There's a cave there that's kind of tucked away in the southeast corner. Sorry, I had to think directions. In the southeast corner of the Boiling Sea. It's southeast corner of the map, Boiling Sea. There's a cave there. It's tucked away. There's actually a great video already out on YouTube that talks about that cave. I think it's a great spot for a fob. So in hindsight, this is how we're going to make hardened steel. Now, you are going to need a lot of manganese and a lot of iron to craft it. It is very resource heavy when it comes to crafting hardened steel. We'll let this cook for a little bit and grab some of our ingots. Now I'm gonna go put these in our vault. I'm also gonna jot down real quick that issue with the FPS back there. That was pretty bad. It's pretty laggy. Fob, we're like it's just another term for a base, a forward operating base. All right, let's go take a look at Aquilarium. We'll make that. We got a couple more minutes here in the stream time. So, Aquilarium. This is the guy we're making right here. So it's an underwater fuel source, all right? Whenever you are creating this and using the hydrosphere, Keep in mind that as soon as you activate and use this for your hydrosphere and turn it on, anything that you build in that sphere, right, a forge, a cooking pot, anything like that, you can use a regular fuel source because it acts as an air dome, right? So anytime if you don't have your hydrosphere enabled, and let's say you're doing some sort of crafting in a forge and you run out of aquilarium in your sphere, turns off, you're going to have to use aquilarium for your forge going forward because it's going to stop use of that fuel source or wood. So crystallized wood or aquilarium is going to be for underwater fuel, for fires, things like that, and then regular fuel anytime you're somewhere with air. On that note, what are we going to need to make aquilarium? Let's go find out. You make it through a mortar and pestle. So I got a couple set up here. So we're going to need a couple barnacles. We need some crystal, some crystallized wood, and some oil. I have crystals and I have oil. I'm actually going to get that right now. We're going to go hunt for some barnacles and we're going to get some oil. Or excuse me, we're going to get some crystallized wood. So I'll take 100 oil. And let's get 100 crystals. All right. Now we just need the crystallized wood and we need a barnacle. Like I said earlier, a good spot to find barnacles is going to be on any of the tech structures here. So we're pretty close to a tech structure as is, and we're going to go find some barnacles. Granted, they're not going to be littered over the entire surface of the sunken structures themselves, but they're going to be scattered around in smaller pockets. Some little clusters, if you will. Was that Gary? Is Gary the snail? Nope, that's not Gary the snail. There we go. Here's a cluster. Now, to harvest barnacles, you're going to need to acquire a knife. Pickaxe or a hatchet are not going to work in this sense. All right, how many did that give me? That gave me plenty. All right, cool. Now we just got to go find crystallized wood. So right now the FPS issues are still being addressed. Players are going to experience issues regarding optimization in the map as well as low stability at the moment. We did push out an FPS patch on Tuesday, and we are currently working on readying to push out another one in our next update. That's something that is going to continue to be addressed. It's not something that's going to be easily done and fixed overnight, so expect to see routine patch notes in future updates regarding FPS. All right, let's go find crystallized wood. Pretty sure there's a spot somewhere. FOB is essentially another term for a base, forward operating base. So mainly something if you're doing like a PvP server or something like that, you want to put a FOB down as a spot that acts as, you know, a permanent base, temporary base, or something like that. Hey, I appreciate it, Viper. Thank you. All right, let's go take a dive through these really creepy ruins. So I know there's some crystallized wood here somewhere. Aha, here we go. All right, so how to tell the difference between crystallized wood and crystal. So obviously you have crystals in front of me here. Crystallized wood, look for these trees. They look like regular trees, except with more of a crystal aesthetic to them. Let's take a hatchet, chop her down, and that gave me 100. I think that's good. That should be good. And again, these are littered everywhere throughout Aquatica. Each of the biomes has giant crystal pockets like this with crystallized trees for players to go and gather that resource. So you don't have to worry about just making a hydrosphere every time you go underwater. There's plenty of resources for players to go down and still adventure and start their underwater journey while still using things like fires, cooking pots, forges, things like that. All right. So, where's our table? There it is. So we got our oil, we got our crystal, let's get our barnacles, let's get our wood. And now, we should be able to craft 33. That's not bad. That's not bad. So to craft one, it takes 2 barnacles, 2 crystals, 3 wood, and 3 oil. So it's not that resource heavy in the sense for making aquarium. So I'm going to make it all. So what did we cover? Let's recap. So we talked about hardened steel, how to make that, because some players are asking about that. We talked about how to make aquilarium, so now you know how. Take a mortar or pestle, and you can start making it that way. And then we made the Sea Dragon Soup, which the Sea Dragon Soup does help prevent and reduce the incoming shock. Adds a bit of shock resistance as well as stun resistance for up to 15 minutes. Do the worms chew the gum, or is the worm the gum? Jamie, how do we want to answer that? Should we tell them? Should we tell them the truth, or should we say that, you know, do we tell them? I was gonna say the worm is the gum, but I mean, that's okay. New creature taming methods? Yeah, absolutely. We're running low on time here, so we won't get to that today, but tomorrow, I plan on doing a couple things. Tomorrow, we're going to be exploring the Abyss. That one's not going to take up as much time, and we're going to be going through a couple more tutorials on things to craft, and then, yeah, we can throw in some tames as well. I have not, Valid. I have not. Majority of my personal playtime with Ark in ASE, it was PvE. To be quite frank, I am absolutely garbage at PvP. Now, if you need somebody in a PvP server who is great at getting resources and, you know, doing supply runs, I'm your guy for the job. All day, every day. You know what I mean? I can be stealthy. But when it comes to, like, actually fighting, it's like, hey, BRB, I'm going to go watch y'all from distance. Can you blow... Okay, now we're getting obsessed here with worm gum. Fender, I'm concerned. Can you blow bubbles with worm gum? I would assume you could. Are you looking for a tribe for PvP? You know what? That would be pretty fun. Again, I'm an awful PvP player. I'm gonna warn everybody. So if you see me come into a server, don't expect much on my end other than, like, you need some resources, I got you. You need somebody to build a base, I got you. All right, let's pause this real quick. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna bring this over. Let's get some of the music playing again, and let's chat for a little bit. Let's do about 5 more minutes, guys, and I want to open this up to a Q&A sesh. Swells arrive, take him out. Yeah, I feel like if I join any PvP server, I'm meant to go under, like, an alias or something, because the second they're going to see my name, like, oh my god, it's him, get him. Like, there's going to be an all-out Hunger Games hunt for me in a server. Uh, as far as contact with Studio Wildcard, that the only direct line people who have been is our lead. Yeah, not a problem. Charlie, absolutely. You're welcome. Things like this, again, so these streams will continue for as long as we are allotted the time for these streams. Again, the intent for this is to, again, provide a little bit of gameplay, be transparent with the progress of the game. I mean, you guys saw it on screen firsthand. Obviously, there's still frame issues, there's lag stability, but it's something that, you know, we're still going to push through to still show off some things for you. So for those who are getting started in Aquatica in their journey and don't know where to begin, they can get some fresh insight from developers and people who have, you know, been in the map for a bit of good beginner points, tutorials, good guides on resources and things like that. How do you make worm gum? Tomorrow. Okay, matter of fact, hold on. So Tames, Abyss, QA, gotta have QA in there, duh. Worm gum, because everybody all of a sudden wants worm gum. We will talk about worm gum tomorrow. Oh man, I think we need a poll. Sounds like we need a poll for this. Oh, never mind. Dragon's already teased it. That's fine. Dragon's beating me to the punch. I was going to do a little showcase of that tomorrow. Dragon's all about the gum. Yeah, I can tell. It's all about the worm gum. We'll still do a little showcase on how to make the worm gum too on stream so everybody can have a visual of it. Oh, am I team jelly or team clams? Oof. I'm going to have to go because I appreciate watching the chaos unfold. When you're trying to find a place to build your base, Fender, and the jellyfish just come at you. I got to go team jelly. Team jelly. You're in a PvP server. You got to have a rivalry. That needs to be your PvP server name. Jellies versus clams. That's the two factions that people can choose to join. They can team jellyfish or team clams, and it's just a brawl. When do you think transfers will come, and will Arc data and uploading teams be possible? So, from what I'm aware of, and the information I have received is that transfers for single player and unofficial do work. I don't have any information regarding transfers for officials. Team Barnacle or Team Seaweed? Oh, Team Seaweed, because Seaweed was a lot of stuff that I put around the shallows. I spent a lot of time in the shallows, and so the Seaweed is pretty cool. Why am I so red? It's a fantastic question. Probably my camera, my saturation on my camera settings, and also the lighting. I don't have my main light on, here. So I'm just using static lighting, but it looks like there's a bit of rain coming in, so it's messing up the lighting for me. Teach you the ways in PvP. I need a teacher. Show me the ropes. Show me the ways. For real, to answer your question, come to one of the other streams if you ever see me go live, and we can talk about that. All right, guys. It's a little past hour 10, so you know what that means. Nobody leave. Don't leave yet. This is not me saying goodbye. Well, it is, but at the same time, we always have to do something. So, first off, thank you to everybody who came out and attended this dev stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the exploration of the Crystal Caverns, and I'm excited to see what you guys' reaction is when you go to find the artifact in that artifact cave. Tomorrow, game plan. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing another Q&A. Any additional details I get on patch notes and updates or ETAs, we'll be discussing as well. Again, once I get that information. Still waiting on that, so stay tuned. But tomorrow, that's going to be the first segment, and then we're going to dive into the Abyss exploration. That one's going to be a bit of a shorter exploration just because while it is a late game biome, it's not going to be as large and expansive as, you know, the Boiling Sea, Shallows, Crystal Caverns, places like that. But we're going to go explore that. We're going to show off the heart of the Abyss. I'm going to show you guys one of the locations to go to the boss fight arena. And then we're going to learn how to make worm gum tomorrow. I know somebody already gave the ingredients in here, but we're going to go in. I'm going to show you guys on stream the ingredients you need, and I'm going to show you guys, and you're going to watch it cook in real time, and we're going to put it in our inventory. And if there's anything else you guys would like to see throughout the stream, please leave your feedback in the Discord. I have a few server ads in there that have these streams and their information. Comments are open. I'm open to all suggestions and feedback, so please put them in there. Oh, and tames. We're going to be going over tames. So we will be going over a few of those. And then I think regarding tames and some of the underwater creatures, I might have a little surprise to show off too. We'll see. But on that note, guys, we're going to do the next best thing. Instead of just ending the stream, we got to go find a gamer because we got to go host somebody. We got to go raid somebody. Let's go see who's playing what right now. Is anybody playing Aquatica? I do see one. Alexander Salamander. Okay, that's a name right there. All right, guys, we're going to go raid Alexander Salamander. All right. We're going to go raid. You guys know the drill. When you go into this raid, all capitals, spam the chat. Go give him a follow as well, please. Pump up that following for him. Share the love. And have a good time. Introduce yourselves with him. Chat with him. But on that note, everybody, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Join my tribe, please. Perhaps I could be easily persuaded to join the tribe. Okay, whoever has the best persuasive server ad on the Aquatica Discord, ping me in your recruitment ad for your tribe. Again, it has to be the best one. You have to be like, I need to be like, oh God, I have to join. Make it persuasive, make it inviting. Get creative, and whoever has the most persuasive recruitment ad for their tribe, I will join that tribe. Sound like a deal? Sound like a deal? I think it sounds like a deal. All right, guys. I'm going to hit this. And we're going to go raid. Again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this dev stream. Hope you had a great time. I will see you again all tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific time, for more Ark Aquatica adventures, details, and updates. Till then, take care.